Okay, so I got a lot of questions on how I actually set up the contact system to do the dumb head pat animation that you guys all saw on like Twitter and Discord and stuff. So I figured I'd do a video on how to actually do that, because it's a lot easier than I thought it would be, honestly. It's not too bad. But anyway, beforehand, I guess I'll show you how these contact points actually work in game and what they're doing, just so you have kind of an understanding of what I'm talking about while I'm talking about it. So yeah, just cut to that, I guess. So with the new V3 avatars, what you get are these contact points, which are these little like hitbox things. These are automatically added into every single avatar. You got one in your hand, all of your fingers. You got them in your feet, and then also if you come over here, you got the one in your chest and in your head, and then there's this receiver hitbox, which is what we're going to be playing with today. This is the one we're going to be adding in. This thing isn't in by default. This is what we're going to be making. This is the thing where you put the hand and it does this. It does the stuff. It's really cool, actually. like really cool. So if I bring up the little debug menu here, there's the thing for the tutorial. It's a float value from 0 to 1. So right now it's at 0 because my hand isn't in the thing. As I bring my hand closer towards the center of the sphere, it brings it to 1. There's also a bunch of other things, like there's just a toggle where it registers if it's in it or not, and then it just switches from true to false, or 0 or 1, instead of going from 0 to 1. And then there's also like motion velocity type things, where if it moves at a certain speed, it'll trigger it from true to false, which is kind of cool. I haven't really played around with that, but I'm sure you guys can use your brains and just punch in things and figure it out. But yeah, there's like, I'm only going to show off the proximity one today because that's all I really used. But all the information is on the wiki, or it's in the SDK itself. If you use your eyes and you read the instructions, it's crazy what you can figure out if you actually read the instructions. This shit's kind of wild. Okay, anyway, on with the guide thingy. Wait, no, I lied. I totally forgot. There's also other things you can do. These are the contact senders that are added in by default. It's called like hand and then index finger. These are all individually labeled, like hand right, hand left. You can also make custom ones too, for like your butt, for example, and then you can label it butt. And then if somebody has a receiver that is receiving a parameter named butt, you can like bump butts together and it'll do another cool thing that you tell it to do, whatever you want it to do when you touch butts with your homies. That's all I want to say. Okay, so now that you kind of have an idea of what's happening behind the scenes, I guess I'll show you how to actually make it. I'm assuming that you have a brain and you can kind of figure things out on yourself and read instructions. There are instructions on the VRChat wiki and also Unity wiki. You can use Google. You can figure out where to find this stuff. It's not too difficult. Plus, there's instructions in Unity itself. If you look at them, it's really helpful if you just use your eyes and look. But anyway, assuming you've never made any sort of animation before, let's start off fresh. First thing you want to do is create a new animator controller. I'm not going to name it because I'm lazy and I'm just trying to do this quick. Then make a new animation. This animator controller, what you're going to do with it is you're going to go over to your avatar and find your animator and your controller, and then drop your new animator controller into your animator controller. It seems like the right spot to put it, so that's what you do with it. Now that that's there, you click on it, you take your new animation and you drag it into this spot here. You're going to also do this with any new animation that you make. So if you were to make a new animation 1, you'd also put it there. It's just really convenient so that when you click on your avatar in your hierarchy, and then in the inspector here, you see the animator controller. If the avatar you click on has that animator controller, you can see all of your list of animations here. Super convenient, super nice, really great to work with. Okay, so now to actually make the animation that you want to do. The thing we're going to be messing with is the float value, as you saw. So it goes from 0 to 1 and everything in between. So let's zoom in a little bit here. Pick a random keyframe, let's say keyframe 5. We're going to hit the record button, head over to our avatar, and just make any change that we want. Let's grab this blep thing, drag it all the way to 100. You can see it added in the new animation thing with 2 keyframes. This keyframe is currently on the line of the timeline, so that's the one we're currently looking at. You see if I lower this, it also lowers that. And then if I were to manually type in a number here, it changes the value there. The first keyframe at time 0, it's gonna be 0, and then if we go look at if we take a look at our boy here, he's doing the thing from 0 to 1 as it progresses through the timeline. It's truly crazy stuff. You can do blend shapes. You can also do some more complicated things, like say at this time here, if you're hitting the record button thing, you can click on say hoodie, and you can toggle the hoodie on at that point. So it'll be off, and then as soon as you hit this last keyframe here, the hoodie's gonna be toggled on. Or you can get like kind of cool and like drag on say a whole ass new texture so that it swaps the texture at that keyframe. You can also like change it up here. So like if you want something to change it earlier, you can have the hoodie toggle on sooner or something, and then the texture changes here, and then you can go back and like do like ears big or something. So then your ears go really. Oh, I can't freaking read. What is it? It's so big. And so then like at like the very end, like the ears will go big, so you'll start to like stick the tongue out, change the stuff, and then boom, the ears like explode out really big. You can make these things super simple. You can make them super complicated. If you're just doing a like true false bool value thing, then just have one singular keyframe that changes. So it's just, you know, animation on, which is just the one keyframe, or it doesn't do the animation. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so now we have this like animation thing. It's cool. It's fancy. How do we make it actually, you know, do a thing? We're gonna head over to our avatar, go down to the FX layer, click on the FX layer that we're currently using, head over to our animator window here, and we are going to make a new layer. We're going to call this new layer tutorial, and then this is going to actually do the thing that like controls the animation. Once it's triggered, it tells it like how it transitions from thing to thing, what it does. So we're gonna set the weight to 1. If the weight's 0, it's like 0% value, it's not going to do it. Weight at 1, it's going to do the 100% of the animation. Blending, we're going to switch to additive because we don't want it to override like our visemes or any other stupid animation that's going on. We want it to just add on to it. Then we're going to go into our little tutorial thing here and grab the animation that we just made and drag it into the thing so that this triggers that, it does that, blah, blah, blah. So once we have dropped this animation that we made into the animation layer, we're going to look over here to the right and we will see motion time. If we checkbox the parameter thing, we'll see a list of parameters that our avatar has. We haven't actually added in the tutorial one yet, so we got to go do that. So new float, because we are currently using a float. Name it the exact same thing, tutorial. So we make the new parameter, and then we go into here, motion time, parameter, and then tutorial. So now it will do the timing of that animation based off the timing of that animation, I think. I don't know. Full disclosure, I learned this like 2 days ago. So I'm probably going to be saying things wrong. If I'm saying things wrong, please yell at me in the comments. The pinned comment will be, I'm assuming, full of edits of everything that I possibly said wrong. So look down there in the comments, just like if anything's broken or not working for you, because that's probably where it's probably where I'm going to have that information. Okay. Anyway, at this point, you should have a new layer made called tutorial. It should have a weight of 1. Blending should be additive. Inside this, you have your animation that you just made dropped in. It is selected, and then your motion time should be set to the parameter that you have made here with the matching same name as everything else you've been doing. Now you want to actually have this trigger when your hand comes near the thing. So that big blue ball that was around my head, that's what we're going to be slapping in now. So click on your avatar, go through the armature, find out where its stupid little head is. You click on it, add a component. In the search thing, type in VRC, and we are looking for the contact receiver. The receiver is the thing that receives contact. The name's pretty self-explanatory. What you see here is this big ass circle. It's fairly large. We don't want it this large because it's going to cause problems. So let's shrink it down to like 2 to 5 maybe. Yeah, that seems about good. And we want to line it up with our head. So let's switch to ISO view. Let's get the front view. Let's move it up a little bit on this Y axis. That seems about right. And then probably would want it a little bit forward. So we're going to move it 0. I don't know, like 0.5. So that looks exactly about where people would touch my head unconsensually in VRChat as typical VRChat greeting. So I'm just going to leave it there. And that seems great. Okay, so now we actually want to make it do the thing with your hands. So under collision tags, you go to add. Right now it says custom. Hit the drop down and it'll show you all of the default tags that you can possibly use. These are all of, the ones that are added to every single avatar. These are going to be universal to everybody. If you want to do a custom one with like your buddy's butts or something that they added in with the VRC Contact Sender, you can have that if you have your buddy with the contact sender on his butt and labeled and named butt. You can have this one set up to receive the name butt and it will do that. But we're not doing that. We're doing hands. So I'm just gonna leave it any hand, right or left, it'll do the thing. Receiver type, proximity, because we want it to go from outside to close and then go through the animation from start to finish as it gets closer. There are also other options like constant, which is just the true or false flip, 0 or 1 value, I believe. And then there is on enter, which has a velocity. So like if you're trying to set up something where like you kick it, you can set up like a fast velocity. And if the minimum velocity exceeds 69, or if it's like faster than 0.69 velocity, then like it'll trigger the thing that happens. I don't know. You can read the instructions. The instructions are here or there. You can read them. I'm not going to. Anyway, proximity is the one that we are going to use. The parameter is the parameter that we named before called tutorial that you have here in your parameter and matching layer. So I'm gonna go hit that with tutorial. Now we have our contact receiver set up that when a hand goes through the contact thingy, it activates parameter tutorial, which goes through this animation here under the same layer with the same name, which goes through the timing of the same parameter, and it plays this animation as it does. It sounds really complicated, but trust me, if you just like do it, it's really not that bad. Yeah, you can also make these do literally anything, which is really cool. One last thing to note though is that animation controller that we have. You'd probably want to get rid of it before uploading your avatar. If you noticed, it made your avatar do this little crouch thing. If you leave it in there and you try and go and upload it, it doesn't like that much. Your feet of your avatar are beneath the floor. That's it's probably not what you want. In VRChat, you are absolutely right. That is not what I want. So you can hit that, delete it, and all of your problems are gone. Now you're safe to upload it. And yeah, have fun touching each other, I guess. Weirdos.